What the haters talking about?
What's up, family? I cover a wide range of topics on this channel. The primary thing that I like to do is provide information and expose those who are usually not held accountable, those who are in position of authority, who abuse and stretch their authority. I gotta get them. So when I come across stories where people abuse their authority, I take a special interest in those type of stories. I covered a story last week of Officer Clyde Kerr III, who took his life in Lafayette, Louisiana. He made a series of videos talking about police corruption and racism in America and how it is systemic, a planned attack on the black. He spoke on it. Now, we often ask our police officers to call out their colleagues who participate in brutality against innocent people, who participate in racism against the people who they're supposed to be protecting. Officer Kerr did exactly that. And he just couldn't take it anymore. He killed himself. He said he was doing it because he wanted to bring attention to the matter. And that was the only way that he could really think of. And for all of you who say, well, why you didn't just start killing him? Well, apparently he didn't feel that that was the way to go. Now, I said that I would update y'all on this story. I would cover this story and beat this story until it's uncovered and mainstream media starts talking about it. Because I don't believe that they want this story to be told. They covered the story, some of the news agencies that did cover the story, they only put a little, a few lines about it and talked about, oh, the officer killed himself, but they didn't talk about why. Now, Officer Kerr's family members, a couple of them reached out to me and asked me to not cover the story anymore. They asked me to take down the story that I already posted. And I thought about it. I thought about it real hard. I thought about it all over the weekend. Took the whole weekend. I'm thinking it's on my mind. When tragedy happens to a family, you want to do right by the family, right? You want to accommodate the family. Any way you can, you want to support the family. And even sometimes when you don't agree with the family's position, you acquiesce because you want to empathize, So, I thought about it. And, I think about why this dude said he was going to do what he did, right? I think about man, this dude, he was at the end. He was a strong black man. Recounting his experiences on social media and telling the public about the corruption that is going on in police departments around America, Officer Kerr talked about his difficulty as a black man who worked for a system that promotes the abuse of people who look like him. This guy was only 43 years old, and he took his life shortly after posting one of his testimonial videos. He posted the following message on YouTube where he spoke about the brutality leveled against George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and many other Black people in America. In addition, he spoke to the way that the war on drugs is being used to imprison and take Black lives. He said, "I've had enough of all of this nonsense, serving a system that does not give a damn about me or people like me." He spoke directly into the camera saying, "You have no idea how hard it is to put on a uniform in this day and age with everything that's going on." It was one of the hardest things that I had to watch, fam. It was very hard listening to a man who was plotting his suicide, contemplating his suicide. Talk about the reason that he was wanting to end his life. A reason that could easily be resolved if not for corrupt, demonic people being in control of the system. It's that bad that even when you become a cop and you want to do the right thing, you're not with the brutality against innocent people, against any people. You're not with the racism. You're not a shuck and jiver. You're admired by youngsters. Because I'm going to tell you something. Young people know who you are. They don't typically admire people, grown folks, if they don't believe that those grown folks generally or genuinely have their best interest at heart. They're very particular and suspicious of grown folks, especially police officers. I just think how hard that had to be for a man to kill himself who had two young Black boys. He was a Black man who was well versed in the complexities and dangers of being a Black male in America. He understood how important it is for young Black males to have their fathers in their lives to help them navigate through the wicked terrain called America, who targets them purposely for failure. And he went to his grave and he took all of that knowledge with him. He took all of that protection with him. And, I can just only wonder. I don't know what was really just going through his head. I know what was going through his head in terms of why he did what he did, but what made him think that that was the solution. Now, he did allude to the fact that that was his way. Somebody else who's at their end may decide to take a different approach. It appears to me that he thought in his mind that they would be all right. So it's hard for me to even talk about this because I know I'm not necessarily saying what some people want to hear. I can only speak the truth from my lens. And the way I see it is that I want as many of these days as I can with my son. I want to try to run it as long as I can, and I want to be here for his sons. because I can give them information that he can't give them, right? That dude seemed real sharp. He was sharp. He seemed very dedicated to service. He said he served in the military. Then he came home and he served. And still to come home and be treated like that. And for the Lafayette Parish Police to not even acknowledge that there was an issue, that he actually took an inventory of how they deal with people who are black. They didn't even acknowledge the reason why he killed himself. They just was like some old cookie cutter, he was a good man, he was a good officer, and it's sad what happened to him, we're gonna miss him. No, sucker. Let's talk about this police brutality and racism that he addressed. That's why he killed himself. Because of your practices, your attitude, your putting on the application that being a member of the KKK is required or something, or the Proud Boys is required. Neo-Nazi is required. So I understand the family's position, but you got to understand mine too, fam. You know, I'm a soldier, and I just believe that when a person dies or before a person dies, and if they have a wish list and it can be filled, why not do it? Why not honor their request? Because I'm gonna get at them anyway. So I already felt like the man life was gonna be, death would be in vain, because I know this is America, and I know they love racism more than they love oxygen. But if I can do my part to help him get his message out, to help a man who was at the end, who took an L in hopes that we could get a W. I mean, that's a small price to pay for me. And if, some of the family members don't appreciate what I'm saying, I get it, and I do apologize. I don't apologize for riding for Clyde. I don't apologize for supporting his wish that the message gets out. I don't apologize for that. But I do apologize for hurting your feelings. I know you're going through some tough times, and I just don't know no other way, fam, but to expose corruption. I don't know any other way but to expose the bullies, call them out, put them on blast. The primary way that rapists are able to get away with what they do is because victims remain silent. I can't be silent, fam. And I don't care what it costs me. I just can't do it. I would feel less than a man to know what I know and not share it with my people. Salute. R.I.P. Officer Clyde Kerr III. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?